we've also been talking about the 10 rules, and with our rules, we talk about the temperature, the ambient medium, the demarche-free deformation, and now we are starting with the demolding. The demolding, I show you here a slide which I was been where I was been took a photo. You see a product, yeah, and what you see is a product which is been put out from a mold, and they sent this product to the consumers for little children. My son was been told me I want to have a carrier. Sorry, my budget is not so high that I can give it him in one-to-one. So I bought a model, and the side product it was that I could make this photo here, and I can show it to you. You see one product, and what you see here, that's realized in one shot during the production, yeah, in the injection molding. The interesting, what I hope that you can realize, that you can imagine if you see this picture, that you have to realize during the design, yeah, anything that you can realize very good in the mold, yeah. And surely it's a cycle, yeah. You must know anything about the molds if you want to have a good design. The problem of this chapter is that we have a lot of polymer processings. And I was being visit the polymer processing of injection molding. I told you often that I was being work on this field. I'm a specialist in injection molding, so I can say, I think. And that's why I was being visit the injection molding molds. It's surely that we have other processes. For example, in the next lesson on Friday, we will talk about the rotation process, and there we will see that it's an absolutely cycle between the technology, the process, between the design of the part, and last but not least the mold, the shape which we are realized, and the geometrics depends from all these three things. Yeah. The first what I want to show you here is a slide. You see a slide where you have design of a mold, and you see that there are different parts. They are from heavy metal, from steel. Yeah. First thing, what we should be say, a mold, it's extensive. Yeah. For injection molding, the mold is so extensive about such a car, we can say. Yeah. You can buy cheap cars which are not so well to drive. You can buy extensive cars. Yeah, you can say what you want. For the cars, it's sure you don't need absolutely a very expensive car, but for the molds you cannot say it. For some products you need absolutely expensive molds. And the specialty in the mold is that we have demolding direction. And that's the thing. There is the back view to the design. We must know where we are, or we must make a definite demolding direction. Yeah? It's easy when we use CAD. We have an area, ground area, and from this area we start our design. We start our design process, yeah, and we extrude in one direction. We can extrude in the other direction, and that's a overgiven to the molds. Yeah, there we are also starting from the demolding direction and realize it. So what you see here, I have some problems with the words. I think I would never find the right translation. We say in German the Normalien. Yeah, Normalien we use to realize such a mold. We buy it from 2 or 3, let me say 3 producers. They have a catalog where you can buy some steel, and you start with the production where you are processing, realized processes in the steels. I want to show you an open mold. Yeah, we have a demolding area, and now I was been open the mold and make this photo. And what you see here is a very easy mold. Now we can realize that it's not so expensive to produce it, and we see in this mold there is a testing body, and the other side is absolutely without a processing work. During production, we close the mold, yeah, inject polymer, open the mold, eject, and we get a shaped part from this mold, the testing part. Yeah. If I show you this mold, I must tell you, I'm not very lucky that the realizing is put so. I would be more lucky if we would have here a little bit more steel, and also here, there you can see it was being produced with the look of the money. Yeah, and what shall I say? Testing bodies, you don't need 100 or 100,000 or 2 million or so. Yeah, we will realize about 10,000 testing bodies from this mode, and then it's waiting in the corner. Yeah, and that's why you must see what you need. Yeah, does I need a high quality mode with high expensive costs, or is it enough that I say, okay, we don't have so much money, and for us it's enough. Yeah. Now I show you the testing body, and in the next slide I want to give you some information about the production of the molds. You see a Normalia, yeah, you buy it in your factory, and then you start with the processing of this thing, and you see here that, so you buy it, yeah, and here you start with milling and put out the testing body from the steel, and there, so you can realize the shapes for the production. What I must tell you is that these molds are so easy, yeah, that I can very good tell you anything. But normally the molds are much more complicated. What I want to do here is to open the door, yeah, and to say, okay, there is a room, and if you want to know a little bit more, you must enter the room. Yeah, I can show you the room only from the open door, and if you want to live in the room, you must work it for yourself. Yeah. What I can tell you a little bit, it will help you if you read in the book. The chapter is the biggest chapter in the book, but I think for this use, what we are doing here, what we are realizing here, I can tell you only some parts. I can give you an impression. Yeah, the deeper knowledge that's standing in the book. So here I show you what's realized with the molds is another mode, also for testing body. Surely we are working on the university, the molds which we have that are testing bodies. Yeah. And there you can see the mold on the injection molding machine. You see the joining to the injection molding machine. We have realized it here by screws. You can also put here steel thing and make the joining outside of the mold. That's a little bit more faster possible. And you see here also a hole where you can realize, and especially joining a kind which you must pay especially, but you don't need such a long time for the joining. If you change the molds on the injection molding machine, we need about, let me say, 1 hour, and if it are big molds, then we need about 10 hours or so. It's possible. Nobody wants to have a long time for changing the molds, because you cannot produce, and the money with what you get is smaller, and that's why they think about what we can do, that we can realize a very fastly mold changing, and but that's the problem of the commercial production. Here on the universities, we say, okay, show it to students, let it a little bit more commode be. What you see on this slide is, if you look especially here, there you see two cylinders come out of the shape, and that are the ejectors. Yeah, you need it absolutely if you are producing a shaped part. You must put out it from the mold, that you can realize the next shot, and there you need the ejectors, and the ejectors are such a round cylinders, and there you can producing it. I must tell you, there can be a big problem. I saw also parts which was being destroyed during the injection, not during the injection, during the ejection. Yeah, if I want to put out it, yeah, then I can destroy it, and I need a little bit art, so I can say to produce the right part, and I must know a little bit. It's a little bit tricky, I can say. And some things I wrote in the book, something you must learn by hand, and something you must learn it by extensive mistakes. One student is smiling. I think you know that you can pay for a mistake. It's no problem to pay for a mistake 5,000 euros. Yeah, it's absolutely no problem. And where we talk about the money, with a good mold, yeah, you can organize your very good money during the production, yeah, and that makes it what it that is what it makes, yeah, because you have relatively high costs, and the win is much more higher if you can realize a little bit better production, yeah. And what's interesting for you, that are not the cost and not the prices. What's interesting for you, if you are producing, that's the win, what you can realize, yeah, on the end of the month. Okay, another thing you see here, it's the cooling, yeah. Normally we put into a mold water for cooling. We can also use oil. There are also other ideas which we can use. And we are realizing a temperature which is normally constant in the molds. The temperatures are particularly cold, especially if you want to have shining see-through polymer products. Then you can say cool down it. And if you want to have high-tech polymers, then you can say put a little bit up the heat. What I say is it depends from the kind of polymer which we are using. Yeah, For example, polyethylene, we use a little bit more cold. Polymethylate acrylat, also a cold shape. And if you use polyamide, or if you use, let me say, polyimide, then we need high temperature in the molds. It depends from the crystallization which is taking part in the polymer, and the idea that I realize a high-speed cycle during the injection production, if I use a cold mold, that don't work. Yeah. Maybe I tell you anything about the cycle times. You know, a very easy polymer part. Where if we, sorry, young persons, maybe you know the CD. If you want to hear music, yeah, where you was being a child, you took a CD. Sorry, the clock is working, yeah. And this CDs was been starting with about in 1980s with about 20 seconds cycle time, and in the end of the 1990s we had been, I think, 3.2 seconds with especially mold construction, with especially realizing, for example, they didn't open the mold absolutely, they put it out on the side, yeah, the produced CDs. They was also realize anything with the material, yeah, and they has also realized something about the processing, yeah, the electrical ideas which the machine must be realized. You see, there is development, yeah, from 20 to 3 seconds, and absolutely development. What I must tell you, the CDs, they had been produced billions of CDs, yeah, so they had been realized a lot of money. If you produce a normally part, then you don't have so many ideas put in so many ideas, yeah. Another idea, some persons of you have a bottle of water before you, yeah, and the closer of these bottles, yeah, they are also very, very high-speed products. Well, I told you anything about injection molding molds. Here you see a slide where you have been more complicated, a little bit more complicated, and I can tell you that's not the end. Yeah, the complication can be much more higher. What I want to show you is an extra demolding direction with this kind of molds, and that shall be the end of our look to the room from the position of the door. Yeah, we can do it much more complicated. What you find in the book is an order. Yeah, I start with very easy molds. Yeah, and build it up, which opportunities are till the end of very complicated molds. Yeah, and if you need it anytime, then I can say this chapter of the book is very interesting for you, and I hope that it will help you to catch a little bit more money. The last slide, what I want to show you is here. You know, you see Lego, yeah? That's not a toy, yeah? That's an idea where we want to show children anything about the polymer processing, and we started with this idea to shape with the aid of silicone, yeah, of silicone molds, and we realized epoxy parts. Yeah, you see here a car as a toy, yeah, and we put it into this Lego box. Here we have a plastical mass. Here you see electrical electricals, and what we are do then is fill it with silicone. The silicone is cross-linking. Then rebuild the box, put the silicone, put up the Westerline, yeah, and after rebuilding, turn the box and refill it with the other side of silicone. And so we have a two-particle shape and can realize the car with the aid of epoxy. Maybe I'll show you it a little bit deeper during the processing. It's a little bit my bonus, yeah. That will become an interesting lesson. I want to show you there are a lot of colored pictures, and I hope that it's in a high speed learning. Yeah, if you see a picture, you learn much more faster than if you have a lot of texts. Okay, that's what I want to tell you about the molding. How I told you, yeah, it's a view from the position of the door into a room. Yeah, there is a lot to learn. And normally, if you want to work with molds, you need about 10 years till you know a little bit more than everybody. Yeah, there you need the time. Yeah, because it's learning by seeing. Yeah, you cannot say at first, at second, at third. You must feel it with the hands, and I hope that it's a good start for the learning if you can read an easy mode, a bit more complicated mode, and so on. How I was being realized in the book. Good.